It's the Zach Martin Show on HD, new HD TV, I should say. We're with my good friend Joey Sykes, who's a great guitar player, and he's up to something these days. I'm really behind this. As soon as I got the press release, I was like, all right, let's have Joey back on. Also, the cover of How You Do While My Guitar Gently Weeps with all the various guitar players is really awesome. And
Thank
you
you, Zach.
you could just do a simple search on YouTube and you could find it, and we'll talk more about that. We'll talk about some of the people that are on it. But before we go any further, Joey Sykes, can you give us your rock and roll biography? Someone tuning in for the very first time, they hear the name and like, boy, he sounds really familiar. And when you start to talk about the different people that you've played with over the years, like, ah, of course, Joey Sykes.
Well, a lot of people confuse me with John Sykes, so we got to get that out of the way. Everyone always, that's the more famous Sykes, So I grew up in New York, Long Island, New York, and it's been a. I'll give you the Cliff Note, really quick version. So I was in a couple of bands in high school, to playing bars and stuff like that, and then got a record deal with a band called Coward on Elektra Records in '96. So that was kind of the beginning of the whole, the music industry, kind of, all the things that I've done, and always been a songwriter, stuff like that, getting songs on TV and film. So after Coward, I went to California and played guitar for Tommy Hendrickson, who plays with Alice Cooper and Hollywood Vampires. So I played guitar for him for a while. Then after that, it was Meredith Brooks when she had Bitch.
Love that song.
Um, yeah, so I played guitar for her. Uh, then just all along the way, just kind of been writing and stuff like that. Going to Nashville a lot to do big long songwriting sessions about 4 times a year.
Mhm.
Then I started playing with the Babies, the new version of the Babies in 2015, I believe, something like that. 2014. A couple of original guys got it back together, and I came on board initially to write for the new album, and then one thing led to another, and I joined the touring version of it, and then started a band called Honey River. I think those are the bands I played with that
Right.
had some significance, I would say.
Well, I think if people go to joeysykes.com,
Yeah, it's all there.
they'll find but it's a great website. I like the old school radio that you have on it. It's totally awesome. Do I have the right
I
website?
collect
I
them.
mean, oh, I see. For a second there, by your pregnant pause, I thought, "Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, did I get the wrong one?" Yeah, all right. So you collect the old radios. Um, here's some
No,
I
I
can
collect them,
remember
so I
to
wanted
this
to do that.
day stopping by a gas station. I think the gas station still might be there, but here's my memory. My dad, we're driving in the car. We stop at this. I think it was a Sinclair, right? You know, the dinosaur one, somewhere in Hackensack, New Jersey. That's like
Hmm.
that's what's going through my mind. And my dad got a fill up. And because he got a fill up, he got this green small transistor radio with that one earplug. You
Wow,
might remember that. That's what you used to wear to church so you can listen
that's
to
so
the ball
cool.
game and stuff like that, football games and whatever. So yeah, I got that, and I was immediately captivated by the radio. And then it had a smell to it. I don't know if you know that smell I'm
Oh
talking
yeah,
about, right? There's that smell. I can't
that
explain it.
transistor
That
old smell.
transistor smell, right? And then at one point, we do what all kids do. You take it apart. And
Oh
much like I showed you my one mic stand before we started, I couldn't get it back together. But I like you. I love that kind of stuff. I like collecting
yeah,
radios. I'm big on the microphone. You can see I'm using. Maybe move this for the camera.
I
This is
do
a
see it.
short. Yeah, this is a short 55. This is a microphone that's very famous in that it would be used in the band halls back in the day in the 50s, especially. And you might see some old videos of Gene Vincent or maybe Elvis Presley or maybe even some
Or
of the
or
Beatles using it.
or Bugs Bunny.
Bugs Bunny would use it. Chuck Berry would use it. So this is one of those Johnny Cash, one of those old type microphones, and I really
Yeah.
do like the way it sounds. Um, now, growing up listening to the radio like all of us, I think at one point you must have had that, Joey, this is what you're going to do for the rest of your life, Joey. And I'm speaking like a Long Islander because this
Yeah.
is what happens. What
Oh
was
no.
that moment for you? What was that?
Well, For me, which is kind of a tie-in of this whole project, is I started playing guitar. It's all I've ever done in my life. Pretty much is guitar. I started about 7 years old, and baseball. So I was like joined little league and played baseball my whole life, and pretty much all sports, but mainly baseball and guitar. So that just kind of like, I kind of never really did anything else. So the music education in public schools is passionate for me, and important for me, and that was kind of the lead into this project. Not to skip fast forward,
No,
but
it's good that
um,
because I've made some observations. I know a lot of kids are using hybrid programs in which sometimes they go into the school, other times it's online. And even through the
mhm,
COVID-19 crisis where people were at home, I have to applaud a lot of the musicians that I know for taking their time and the dedication of giving online instruction to various kids throughout the United States and throughout the world.
that's right.
There are some kids that need instruments. They make sure that they get them. They take the time. It doesn't cost the kids anything to learn from these great musicians. So really, I got to thank all of you guys for stepping up and really making the most out of what is a lot of people think a miserable situation, but I really think it's a reset, and we're really starting to discover ourselves. So there's some good to take out of all of this. And we'll check
Yeah,
out the Facebook page that we can find out more information, facebook.com/save the music. So now you want to, I guess, focus on these school programs of music instruction, which are really important. Um, and you team up with a group of guys to come up with this great idea, right? And of course, you pick an iconic song. One of my, I would say, if you were to, hey Zach, what's give me a quick five of your favorite songs?
it's
While
up
My
there.
Guitar Gently Weeps is right up there.
Yeah,
The history of this song, George Harrison, it's on the White Album. It features Eric Clapton playing guitar with George Harrison. And over the years, there have been many covers of it. One of my favorites is when they did I guess, a tribute to George Harrison. And there you have Tom Petty along with Eric Clapton and a few others and Prince who steals the show. You might look that up because it's just
yeah,
amazing
oh
to me.
yeah. And you know who
Um,
was you know who was the drummer?
I don't know who I can't remember. Was it
Steve
Ringo
Ferroni.
or who was it?
Steve Ferroni from
Oh,
Tom Petty.
okay. Yeah,
And
that's right.
and
Okay.
that's was this whole kind of project started with when I had the idea of the song. Exactly what you're talking about. I said, well, I work with Steve a lot, and so I called him. He was like my first call. I wanted to make sure he was into playing drums on it because he just did that Hall of Fame performance with Prince that you're talking about. And so he said yes. So then we were off. So he's the drummer on it. Him and Greg Bissonette, who played
Now,
with Ringo.
yes, that's right. You have two drummers on the video. I remember that. I was like,
Right.
that was interesting. But a slew of guitar players. I mean,
Yeah.
from all different backgrounds. I think I was somebody playing the dulcimer, or was I just dreaming? I mean, I saw some slide guitars, very interesting,
Yeah, you
different
have lap
arrays.
steel on there, pedal steel, a ukulele, mandolin, dobro. There's
Yeah,
all kinds. So the idea was so to backtrack, Little Kids Rock and Save the Music are the charities that were trying to
okay.
raise money, and they do a really great job for at making sure the music education portion is funded, and kids have instruments and lessons, and exactly like you're talking about. And when you physically can't be in the schools, they do a great job with online stuff. So those are the charities. Um, so yeah, so I just picked that song, I got it going, and then I kind of knew that a lot of my friends or people that I work with in the music industry and bands were not touring this year. So I said, well, instead of just sitting around, and I mean, I'm always busy, but I mean, this was like a big undertaking. I wanted to do something that might make a difference, or just might be a good thing to do. So there
The
it was.
the video itself uh, is really well done because here's in my mind as I'm watching this, the radio producer, the recording artist side of me, the engineer side of me is going, holy, and holy bleep. This to be able to sync it up with the various videos and to get all the guitar parts properly layered and to assemble them.
Yeah.
please, if you will, take me through a little bit of that process because I'm just here's my guess. You get your list of friends, you tell them what you're doing, you say, listen, I want you to play. There's two ways of doing it. You could play a portion of the song or you could play the whole thing. And I will just assemble all of that and use my ear and my instinct to put it all together. So then that brings us to this. You want to make sure that everybody gets some equal time in there and that everybody gets their, their due for taking the time and putting the effort into it. So I could just imagine you must have had 4 or 5 pots of coffee and you must have been spending hours upon hours trying to not only figure out how to put all the guitar parts together and make them smooth, but also to put it together to the video. So I'm going to tell you right now, masterpiece. You did it very well, and I was just really blown away again, not only by the sound that gave me goosebumps, it made my hair raise,
Very
but
cool.
just the whole way that you produced that. So, can you give us a little bit without
Yeah.
getting overly technical?
Yeah, well, it's it starts out like you said, reaching out to everybody, telling them what I want to do. The drum tracks were laid down, so I had the drums to send them, and I put down a reference of my parts so that they can follow along with the song. There's no vocals on the song, so it's all
No,
guitar. So my idea was to have all the guitar players playing different instruments and versions of melodies, like George Harrison's vocal melody on a guitar or whatever instrument, as well as I chose specific people that I wanted to do solos, and along with that, I wanted them to send me a video of them doing it. So this is where the challenging part comes in. I mean, I had like I can't even tell you how much video that I had to go through and decide who I wanted where. And then the MVP of it all was a guy, Mike Savage, who was the video editor. So
right.
I sent him like a 30 gig drive from California to Kansas City. So he had the drive. And then I literally like spent so much time going through the numbers of where the video is because I wanted to really help him out because it's a big undertaking. So I would do like verse one, 0:25, like I want this guy there, and then 0:25 to 0:34. So he would look at that
Wow.
list and he would know where to put stuff. And then we finessed it, but that's kind of how I did it.
Well, it's amazing because what you did is, and this is really if anybody's listening or watching, an example of how you try to figure out to make the best out of some really challenging situations. So there you
Yeah,
are in one location. You want to do something. You want to help a group of people. And then you sit there and you go, all right, how am I going to do this? Or for those of us who have just regular everyday jobs, which is no such thing, but we've all had to learn how to work around and have meetings on Zoom and uh, figure out how to do our work, even though it seems like we're isolated. But in reality, because you have so much communication going on back and forth where you really can't see anybody, sometimes you can see them, you're actually really honing your communication skills. So you really have to be specific and careful what you send in your emails. You really have to be thinking 10 steps ahead how to utilize the technology and the what ifs that come along the way. So
that's
these
right.
are these are great learning moments. And then what the most important thing is, the kids that are going to watch this and benefit from it are going to learn themselves how to get through all of this and understand that these are just temporary roadblocks and we're all figuring out a way to use our intellect that God gives us to come up with solutions. That is really fascinating to me.
Yeah. And kids and not only kids, anyone really has the technology. It's just thinking about it differently. And I mean, you when you watch this video, you'll see 25 really famous people that Tom Petty's band, Ringo's band, someone played with David Bowie, Alice Cooper, Sheryl Crow, all these people in this video. That's amazing, and it's an amazing accomplishment. Then you'll get that guy on the skateboard who went viral singing the Fleetwood Mac song.
Yeah, isn't that great?
So
Yeah.
it's great, but the point is that guy will get millions and break the internet by skateboarding and drinking whatever he was drinking, And here we are. I, started this project and have all these guys involved, and I'm just trying to get people to,
Right.
view it with all the collective fan bases. It's such a weird thing.
Well, let the kids do it. Let the kids be the guys and the gals that make it blow up on social media. What I would do is I would have a contest where you've seen the video. Do you want to be part of version 2? If you're a kid who is learning music from us, show us what you can do. And that is a very interesting way to, well, it gives the kid an objective. Now, if I can really learn how to do this and become one of the greats like I'm seeing here on this video, I can join them. It's almost like
Yeah,
America's Funniest Videos where you get the award. Now the award can be, or the reward I should say, is you get a guitar signed by everybody else in the video. You get something from Fender. You get, extra strings, or you get a one-on-one with, pick your guitar player out of this bunch. So see, there's different ways you can package these kind of ideas to really make them work. I found on the radio side, Joey, that if you want to be successful as a disc jockey, you can't rely on any corporation or big company. You got to figure it out on your own. You have to put the investment in, learn how to do your own station online, automate, then learn the extra things that you could do with social media and how you integrate and make your radio players and put video in and do some special things. And always try to figure out new ways of expressing yourself and giving other people the opportunity at the same time, like you've
yeah,
done.
good idea.
So yeah, so all of these things we can help one another. I think that this will blow up because of the song. And it's just you're just one tweet away from the right guy retweeting. So if we can get the attention of maybe a Ringo or maybe a Paul McCartney who's got a new couple, I guess he's got a new album out. I've heard a couple new songs. You get their attention and get them to retweet. Oh, this is great, right? Save the music. All right, it's good for the kids. And that's how you do it. And it's all like going at Paul McCartney, hashtag, Paul McCartney. I do that all the time. So if you do
Right.
that enough on the social media, this is great because we're sharing ideas, we're sharing our projects, we're also helping each other, promote a good cause, Save the Music, which you can go to facebook.com/save the music. You can go to Joey Sykes' website, which is joeysykes.com, and just enjoy that radio. Now, the list of guys I know is over 25, as you said. Um, was it a hard list for you to come up with, or is this something that you've been dreaming about for so long? It was really easy.
I mean, some of the people that I was actually emailing with that I almost got was amazing. It was pretty. I don't really want to say it because it's kind of not cool, but they just couldn't do it for some reason or another. But really, like I know a couple of really famous ones that I'm friends with. They just couldn't do it for whatever reason. So the list was started up really, really like over. Like
Over
would
the
be
top.
great. Yeah, like for an example, wouldn't it be great to have Clapton? So
Yeah, I guess, sure, yeah.
well, of course, but then, I know somebody who knows him. I reached out and they were like, I love what you're doing. It's going to be great, but that's an impossible ask to have him on this song. And I figured that, but I said, all right, well, I could get to him or somebody who I know can get to him. What harm other than no? That's,
Well, did anybody reach out to Brian May? So my point being is,
yeah, I mean, not
yeah,
directly, but he was one of my top guys that I would have loved to have
and
had.
and
Yeah.
and boy, he gets it because he's an astrophysicist, so the technological aspect would be easy for him to grasp. Now, here's the thing, we do this version of it. There's always a volume 2. Like I said, you can get some of these kids on it, and they're matched up with their guitar heroes or
Yeah.
whatever it might be. So I think the sky's the limit on this. After people see it, they'll be like, "Hey, man, I want in. Let's do this," or let's do another song. You don't know what could happen. I mean, just it's just great that the most important thing, Joey, is you did it from, I guess, from the heart, right?
Yeah,
If you
sure.
want to call it love, that's cool. Yeah, because that's what it is. You're really loving your neighbor. You're helping these kids out. You're giving them something to count on because so much has been taken away from these kids. Um, I was texting a friend of mine. His name is uh, gosh, darn it. This is what happens when you get old. Bob. So I go, "How you doing, Bob?" and I was at the supermarket. Go, okay, I feel really bad for the kids. He's got a lot of grandkids. You know, we all have kids in our lives. I say, you know, I could see that, but the one thing about these kids I've noticed is the twinkle in their eye, their determination, their ability to make the best of the situation. It seems like they're just able to get through this a lot easier than most adults. So I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, I kind of like respect how these little kids are getting through all of this, and you know they're making
Yeah.
necessary accommodations. And you know, they're kind of funny. I could just imagine what happens in the lunchroom back when we were in school. How you trade sandwiches. Oh no, no, I got tuna again. You want to trade the tuna for the peanut butter and jelly? You know that happens. I know that there's kids, little boys especially, that are like, "Oh man, here, I'll trade you my mask for yours." And you know, that kind of makes me laugh, you know, how kids are. But you know, I could just I see these kids and I just think to myself, they're gonna be all right. It's the adults we got to worry about because let's face it, the adults aren't behaving these days very well. It's the kids that are doing, they're the ones that are more mature.
Yeah, well, I mean, it did come out of love, and obviously, like I said before, I started so young that I feel like music and learning an instrument or learning how to record or write a song is something that if it really takes to a kid, it can really steer the rest of their lives in some cases, like it did for me. And the funny thing is, I don't even have kids, so it's not about like I did this for other kids and other. I don't even have kids. So it's
Well,
just then it was a thought that like all these famous people with all the years of experience and fan base, we could do this song and it's a great song and it's a different version and hopefully it'll get more traction and raise some money and it's just a cool thing, man. It's
it's
in the archives of
totally
history.
awesome. Totally awesome. And Joey, just remember, today's kids are tomorrow's caretakers when we're in the old folks' home. So be nice to them. And
Stop
you know,
making me old, man.
yeah, man. But the way I look at it is, yeah, I have a daughter, but there's a lot of kids who I treat as if they were my own kids anyway. So you know, that's the
Yeah,
you know we got to
you got
do that. You know, um, thanks again because this is another lesson I want people to pay attention to. When you see a problem, when something is bothering you, when you're disturbed about something, it's not up to somebody else's it's not up to somebody else to take care of it. It's up to the person who observes it to take care of it, to take action and do something.
right.
So thanks for, you know, uh, thanks for what you're doing. I mean, I really, I honor that. That's why it wasn't very hard for me when I saw the press release to go, let me get behind this. Let me help out Joey. This is a great video. I love the song. I like everything about it. We'll make sure that we play it on the radio. We'll do the interviews, all of those different things. So we will continue to make sure that the word gets out. We will make sure that we hashtag music saves as much as we can and give the information for the Facebook page and share your website and do all of those things that we can do on my side of the things. And you continue doing what you are going to do and think, as we move forward, how we can get more kids involved in the project down the road and maybe get some of those, those everybody that was part of the video, I'm sure that they have their wish list of guitar players that they like to play with too. We all
Yeah,
do, right? So I don't think it's insulting to go, let's get some of those like the guitar heroes, if you want to call them that, and get them on part two, right? That'd be awesome.
yeah, man. It was a lot of work, but now I look at the final product, and I'm really proud of it. I'm really happy with it, and getting really great feedback. You seem like a guy with a bunch of ideas, man. Please throw anything my way, because I'm humble.
I'm
So
all
let
listen,
me know what you're thinking.
I'm all about the ideas, man. We got to just keep
Yeah,
going. It makes it fun. It makes it exciting. For someone listening or watching, right? This has been going on. My wife said it's March 165th. I don't know, but make the most of your time, man. Just let's be as creative as possible. I love the new technology. Seems like you're sweating over there, so we'll let you go really
no, I'm
soon.
good.
Are you
Yeah, I'm good.
broad?
Thank.
Are you broadcasting from a closet, or are you in your studio? Where are you?
I'm in my studio. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Southern California, it's 80 degrees, 85 degrees. So, you
yep,
know,
I hear you, man. All right. Well, listen,
crisp
thank you.
October.
Thank you very much for your time. Go to joeysykes.com. It's a great website. You can get more information. Remember to hashtag music saves. I would challenge you if you're tweeting, just say that you heard it on New HD, and then maybe go at Jimmy Page and at Eric Clapton or ever the big time guitar players are, and get them involved in the next round. And just hey, take each day as it comes. Every day is a new opportunity to do something great. Thank you, Joey. Thank all the guys for me. I'm really behind this project, and I don't have anything else to say except make sure you go to facebook.com/save the music.